Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Irmen.
Hello and welcome back to today's podcast. Thank you very much for being here once again. I appreciate it. I have some topics. I have asked people, what do you want to hear? And so we've got some topics to cover in the next few podcasts about that stuff. I take this stuff seriously, you guys. If you want to hear me cover something, please email me at maryjo@withoutthebank, and I am happy to do a podcast on it if I have not already. A lot of times people ask me to do a podcast on stuff I've already done a podcast on, and I don't like being repetitive. So please, if I have not answered something, or if you want to hear something in particular, let me know. I have finished Life Without the Bank. It's done. The new book is ready to be purchased for $5.99 at the time of this recording. So if you have not gotten it, get it now for $5.99 before it goes up to $20. Yes, it's going to be $20. It's even shorter than Farming Without the Bank. So that's good. Today we are going to talk about getting employers to stop matching a 401k and give you the money. This was one of the questions I got. How do you get employers to give you the money for another option? The particular question said, I get an employer match of 5% regardless if I contribute or not, so I contribute. So there's kind of a twofold question there. One, if your employer is contributing 5% and you don't need to do anything for that 5%, that doesn't mean you need to contribute. So I wouldn't, if it was mine and I was wanting to, put money back into cattle or put money into equipment or buy land, would I want to put my 5% there? No, I wouldn't. You guys can do whatever you want. But if they're going to contribute one way or another, that's not a match. That is a, hey, I'm giving you some free money so I can get a tax write-off. Because employers get a tax benefit for doing this match thing. If they didn't, they wouldn't be doing it, right? They would probably look at other avenues, which was the other part of the question. But before I get to the other part of the question, in my book, Life Without the Bank, I have calculator illustrations in there of what does it look like to get a 3% match? What does it look like to pay a 2% fee, a 3% fee, a 4% fee on our money? That may help you get an idea of, should I be taking this free money? I can run the calculations. If you are going to get a 3% match and you're contributing 3%, a lot of times a 2% fee is going to eat up any of the match. If they're giving you a 5 or 6% match, that typically makes sense to take that match. At the end of the day, it's still money nobody has access to until they're 59 and a half. I have a client who puts in whatever he needs to get his match, but all of his money is invested in bonds. And he does not have his portfolio tied to the stock market. So any of his match is an actual gain because he's not losing anything. He's being very conservative. If you have an employer that offers a Roth and you're going to contribute anyway, max the Roth out and put the rest into the traditional because the Roth is going to grow tax-free. So put as much there as you can and then put the rest in the traditional. And I've said this before, and I get beaten up about it. If you don't want the risk, but you want the match, you don't have to invest your money into mutual funds. There are bonds. There are money market accounts that you can stick that money in within that 401k umbrella, I'll call it. There are things that you can do to eliminate some of your risk. So if you're going to put it there and you're willing to wait till you're 59 and a half, then maybe you want to say, okay, I just don't want the risk. I want to make sure I have a gain. It's going to be very slow. It's going to be very minimal. But like my client who's getting a 6% match, he's making 6% because he put his money there and he's making 6%. Minus any fees, there are still going to be fees to manage those accounts. You're giving up access to money. You're giving up liquidity till you're 59 and a half. But if you can do that, if it makes sense to you, then just pay attention to what the match is. I have seen matches that are 3% of what you contribute, not 3% of your income. In that case, they're not even really putting anything in. The one thing about employers that drives me crazy is that they don't look at their employees and say, why aren't you putting any money in a 401k? They don't ask. They just assume everybody wants a 401k. Well, what if I don't want the 401k? What if I need my money today? What if I am going to farm with it and build an operation? They don't care because they don't want to do anything outside the norm, which leads to her question of how do we get our employers to see this? Just as people that look for infinite banking find it because their eyes are open, there are many that miss it because their eyes are shut and they don't want to see it. Employers are the same way. If you work for a big corporation, chances are you're never going to convince the HR department that they should change this. I have had clients try, and I have actually talked to people within the HR department, and they basically tell me I'm an idiot because I have it all wrong and they have it all right. I'm not sure what makes them right. I'm not sure why they think they know it all because they were appointed in charge of HR. Yet I have had many clients successful going to their employer, if it's a smaller company, going to the employer and saying, hey, I want my money in the form of a bonus. I want the match, but I don't want it in a 401k because I want to have access to that money today. I am willing to take that in the form of a bonus. You still get to write it off as an expense. I'm going to claim it as income. I'm okay with that. If your employer refuses to do that, say, okay, fine. I'm going to put it into a life insurance policy. If you think I'm going to blow it and you are insistent that I have retirement, then you can write the check to the insurance company every single year. I will give you my policy number. You can write the check directly there. I don't see it. It pays my premium. I have a gal that works for a nonprofit. The nonprofit was okay contributing her 401k match to her policy, but they wanted to make sure that it was going there. So they write a check every year to her policy. It is hard to get employers to see the value here. They think they're losing some kind of tax benefit, when in fact, they give you a bonus, they're still going to get the same tax benefit. If employers really cared, they would ask, what are you doing with your money? Why are you not contributing? Do you need it to live? Are you investing in other things? Do you have other things going on outside of work? I mean, we as employers just maybe don't sit down and actually get to know our employees. I was the employee that hated contributing because I didn't understand it. I didn't think it made any money. I wanted to invest in real estate. Not one of my employers gave an iota about what I wanted. None of them. Zero zilcho. They were wonderful people. I still love them today. But that's not how they were taught to think. They were taught to think, give this 401k. And it goes the other way too. I have a client who owns a construction business. The employees were leaving because they didn't offer a 401k, yet they brought me in and said, we'll give you a bonus. You just put it into life insurance because this is a great tool. But the employees were too lazy to understand how this works, so they wanted the 401k match because they're brainwashed to believe that that's the answer. So as ignorant as some employees are, the employer is equally as ignorant. Why can't we have both? We can. The employer just needs to decide that. And as an employee, it's our job to educate them if they're not educating themselves. And I've had clients who take my book into their employer, and guess what? They don't read it. They don't read it because they are pretty sure they're doing the best thing for you. Even though they don't understand in most cases, they're actually putting themselves at risk. It has held up in Supreme Court that employees have sued the employer for hiring a poor money manager of the 401k. It's held up. It's the same thing these pensions need to do. These people that have been contributing to pensions forever, they need to get together and they need to sue whoever was managing the pension because it was mismanagement. They're supposed to know better. Does your employer really want to be liable? If you're supposed to be in control of your own money, which is exactly what 401ks were started for, is the employer was supposed to stop taking care of the employee. So if that's the case, and the employer is supposed to stop taking care of the employee, then let me decide what I want to do with that match. And please give it to me in the form of a bonus. We can even go as far as to say that an employer can give an executive bonus. So it's actually called an executive bonus plan. It is an IRS tax code, and it allows the employer to discriminate. So in a 401k, they cannot discriminate. If they give a match to one person, they have to give it to all. But with an executive bonus plan, they can offer the executives within the business a little more incentive with a bonus. And that bonus then can be used for life insurance. And the employer could actually hold on to the life insurance policy and hold on to the cash value until the employee is vetted, right? Maybe the employee has to be there 5 years or 10 years or something. It's exactly the same thing Walmart did. They just never gave the policies back, but they insured a whole bunch of their employees. I guess that's key man. That's not executive bonus, but it's an option to give the executive bonus. But I just said they can discriminate with it. They can't with a 401k. If they give one person a 401k, they have to give everybody a 401k. They have to match it for everybody. But does it say somewhere what the match has to be? If the corporation language is not a match into a 401k plan, then who says that it can't be cash? I, being me, and the Henri German that I am, I may actually push that one a little bit and say, okay, in the language of my handbook, where does it say that that match has to come to me in the form of a 401k? If you are going to offer a 3% match, can that come to me in the form of a bonus that you pay directly to the insurance company if you think that you need to control what I do with my money? Because I look at it as a control issue. If you look at it, the employer looks at it like they're being super nice. Oh, I'm so nice. I'm giving you a 401k match. And I'm telling you, you can't have a bonus because you really should have a match because I really believe that's where you should put your money because I know everything and you don't know anything. And then guess what? The employer is no better than the government thinking they can tell you what to do with your money when and why, right? No, it's my money. I give bonuses to my staff. They get to do what they want with it. They do. I don't write it to the insurance company. I don't care what they do with it. Not my problem. I gave you the money. If you don't use it wisely or you do use it wisely, that's your problem, not mine. You can't come to me and say anything about it. Wiped my hands of it. Right? It's kind of like people that donate to panhandlers. Some people say, you know what? I'm going to give them the money. What they do with it is in God's hands, not mine. I'm not the one to be judging, so I give. While the next guy says no, because they're going to go buy beer with it. Well, you're deciding to control that person's fate. I think we have far too much control anyway. We don't need any more. I had some answers, but I don't have all the answers, and I wish that I did. I really wish that I did. Opening an employer's mind is saying, here is the Life Without the Bank book, because that's going to be the best book for them. Here is the Life Without the Bank book. I don't want to contribute to my 401k. I would much rather do this. Please look at it. And then we can have a discussion of you possibly giving that to me in the form of a bonus. Good luck is all that I can say. But they are going to have to be okay with that. They are going to have to understand that. I am happy to answer those questions for them. Because they themselves are contributing to the same stupid plan, waiting till they're 59 and a half, 65, 70 to take the money, and they sold their business and got rid of all their tax deductions. Not our best option for retirement. Okay, that's all I have for today. That's it. If you have any other questions on that, let me know. If you need to look up the executive bonus plan, there's some good videos on YouTube about that. I don't have anything on YouTube about it, but I do think that it is a great option. And I think every employee who wants their money in the form of something besides a 401k match should ask for it. Because if you don't ask for it, you don't know the answer. And they most likely have never heard of this. So help educate them. The worst they can do is say no. And then you know. Then you get to decide what you want to do. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. I am happy to answer them. MaryJo@withoutthebank.com. I answer the majority of those myself, and I see them. So please do email me there. And if you have topics, please let me know if there's something that you want to hear. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you in the next podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.